Hello, everyone. I'm back for another stream. My name is Key, and today we are doing advanced cheese maze. Okay, this is serious business. If you don't know, we are friends to all creatures of the, well, not all creatures, actually. I don't like mice in my house uninvited, but they are cute. And this is a theme, and it's giving what needs to be gave to help us out with our GoLang programming. The GoLang mascot actually is a gopher, but I think mice are cuter. So, anyways, if you were with us the last stream, we basically were just using the GoLang skills that were practiced in the first four introductory videos to make a simple terminal-based maze game, helping the mouse get to the cheese, basically. And in this video and in the upcoming mini series, so I don't know how many parts this will be, but I'm going to be basically looking at that original maze game and refactoring it to make it more sophisticated. So adding new features, cleaning up the code, and also changing up some of the development patterns that some of the coding patterns that I used in order to make this code just nicer and better quality. So this is going to be not just me working on like learning stuff, but actually putting things in like a realistic context. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the code here. Okay, so you can see here that I have actually spawned a new repository. And this new repository is based on the original one that was created last time. So advanced cheese here. In fact, let me go ahead and get you set up with the link. If you go check out the bottom of the description for this repo, you can see there's a link to this new repo. And here, let me just go ahead and put it on the screen so you can check this out real quick. So here we go. So this is the repo that you will see. I have a link to the original game here if you want to check that out. And then also just remember this repo is an extension of that original game. And I'll be using this stream to document the development and improvement of this design. So I'll look at my little mouse here, my little mouse friend. Okay, so that's where we are. That's where we're going. That's what we're doing. Mind you, I don't have a specific plan, so this video is also going to include me just kind of sharing my thought process as I both plan and then actually develop this. And I'm going to be using Freeform as a tool here to help me plan. So, yes. So I guess we could start off by getting our app running here. Let me just go ahead and clear this. So this game is pretty straightforward. Oops, I got a problem here. What's that? What are you complaining about? Oh, yeah. There you go. Okay, so this game should be pretty straightforward. If we do go run, we got to get into the folder actually. OpenPair. Why are you not liking this? Here we are. I just need to go here. Okay, so if we do go run period, we can play our little cheese game. And remember, this M here represents the mouse, and this C represents the cheese. And I can use the WASD keys, as mentioned here, to move this mouse. And the hash symbols here, let me make this bigger. The hash symbols represent the wall, so the mouse cannot go into or past the wall. So let's go ahead and move our mouse here. Boom. And then we can get to the cheese here. And then it says the cheese has been found. And the way this game works is that we have set up an array of strings, and we're looping over them, and then we're injecting the mouse at a location based on coordinates here, starting at the coordinates 1, 1. So that's the second the second string, and then the second character. So right here. And we can change that. This is where we're where is it at? Right here is where we're initializing the new mouse and then setting the coordinates for the mouse. So I have a couple of objectives today that I already know off the top of my head, and then more may appear up. So let's go ahead and jump into, one last thing. If you're interested in understanding the thought process behind the navigation of the mouse on the in the maze, I included this diagram inside of the where is it at? I've included this diagram inside of the README, so you can see the thought process behind how we're navigating and traversing the data structure for the maze. This is also the basic thing that's allowing us to move the mouse inside the data structure as well. So take a look at this. I'm not going to explain this right now, but in the live stream, there was a little bit of a hiccup in terms of how I was explaining it. So I went back and reworked this and improved this graphic. So go by this as opposed to what I was talking about in the stream. Sometimes it'd be like that. Okay, so I got about 30 minutes before my timer goes off for my break. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this. Don't mind me, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and make yourself comfortable. Let's just jump into this. Okay, so let's make a new diagram here, a new board, and we're gonna call this board Advanced Cheese Maze Plan. Okay, so what I'm thinking, I'm also new to this too, so I'm gonna have to learn this as I go. So let's just go ahead and treat this as like a little scratch pad to store some ideas. Looking at my code here, the number one thing I want to do is figure out how to use emojis to represent the grid, mouse, and the grid. I should qualify this. Here, let's make it like this. We want to represent the grid. We want to represent the mouse. Can I make a bullet list here? Oh, I can. Okay, cool. So we want to represent the grid. We want to represent the mouse. We want to represent the wall. We also want to have either an emoji or some representation of space that is the same size as the emoji to represent the spaces. Because the issue that I was running into in the last stream is that, the issue I was running into in the last stream is that if I have if I have an emoji, emojis take up 2 spaces, whereas regular glyphs will take up 1 space. And if I try to put an emoji of a mouse in this glyph-based maze, then things will get misaligned and all crazy looking as the mouse moves through, and it won't be a good player experience. So I need to make sure that all of the things in the grid here look the same. I would probably benefit from having a square grid, but actually that shouldn't matter, to be honest. As long as the grid has appropriate boundaries on the outside, it shouldn't matter what size the grid is or the dimensions, the proportions either. Because the way that the logic works is every time the mouse makes a move, it's going to check the place where it's about to move and determine if it is a space or the cheese. And if not, then it cannot move there. So I think I only need to do these 4, and I need to make sure that whatever things I use to represent each of these is appropriate. What comes to mind to me right now is that the grid walls, so I need to say, really we just have mouse, walls, space, mouse, walls, space, and cheese. Oh, I forgot cheese. This needs to be cheese. So for each of these, I need to have a different emoji. So I'm thinking that for the cheese, obviously we need a cheese emoji, which is this one here. Um, we need to have a mouse. Now, I don't know. I mean, there's two mice because, we're popping like that. We're popping and we're lit. We're popping, we're lit, never sus. I don't know if I want to use the full mouse or the mouse face. I feel like the mouse face is very much on brand vis-a-vis this, but I feel like having the mouse full body is like also it's pretty fetch as well. Let's just use the mouse face. Um, I feel like that's going to be easier to read. We can always change it later on. Now, the hard part for me is like the wall. Um, I'm thinking a brick, but I need like one solid brick. Um, I don't know. We might have to really just scroll through here and see, to be honest. I'm not an emoji master. I ain't really got it like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, and the cool thing is like, eventually we can set up some more logic for interactions. Um, Ooh, we could use these color ones. I could use the white one for the space, actually. The white one could be good for the space. And then we need one more. We need a wall. I mean, we could use brown. I feel like that's a little meh. Let's just put that to the side and see if we can find something else. Yeah. Why do I keep doing that? Why does it keep going away? That is so annoying. Okay. My cat is like having the time of her life in the background. She's skedaddling. I don't know why she be skedaddling like that. Like, come on, girl. Ooh. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. There's all sorts of cool stuff I could like add as things. Maybe there's more than cheese in this maze. Maybe there's a treasure box and cheese is just one of many things this mouse can get. Like the possibilities. Ooh, I could put a door. I made it. Oh my god, the door could be the. Oh my god, the door could be the way to get to the next level. Okay, let's just keep it focused. This is great. I'm glad I'm getting inspired, but I need to reel it in. Okay, I'm thinking that the brown might be good for a wall. I was also thinking earlier that black could be good too, but I don't think I need to do black. I think brown is fine. Let me also, while I'm at it, just save these other variations of the white because my apprehension about using emojis for the spacing is that using emoji for the spacing, it could be a little bit too aggressive in terms of the appearance. So I'm wondering if having a smaller emoji for like a smaller white emoji would be better than having a large one, because it would have less of a visible footprint. So they give us these four options for sizes. So I'm just going to put these here and let's just go ahead and just toss some labels on these and then we can get it pushing, keep it pushing. Okay, so this will be my first thing though, like just to get the grid working and the grid replaced with the emojis. I think that'll be the main thing tonight, and that's going to actually take a little bit of work. So that's obviously cheese, mouse, and we're gonna make our board here look really nice because we want to make good documentation that we can feel proud of sharing. That's just me. You don't have to do that, but you know what I'm saying? I might judge a little bit. Okay, this is the wall, and this will be space. I could toss some lava in there, you know what I'm saying? That would be really fun. We need like a bracket symbol. Is there a bracket? There's a Brachiosaurus. Okay, not what I was wanting. Interesting. Um, I need like a little bracket, like a little curly brace. But this is cool. They got a lot of like little emojis and stuff in here. That's awesome. Wow. I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed with this because I was not expecting to like freeform. I'm gonna be completely like honest. Uh, I do like Apple's like attempt at things, but I feel like a lot of times they make things that feel more or less like kind of mediocre. Like like they don't make the best version of things. They just make things and then someone comes along and makes a better version of it and then you just use like the new thing. You know what I mean? Like I feel like Apple like kind of is good at making things that are like introducing mediocrity so that other people can like make a better version. Or the inverse. They take something that already exists that's awesome and they make like a mediocre version. But they make it available for everyone for free. You know what I mean? But this actually is really good software. Like I've played around with other I don't even know what you would call this, like whiteboard software. And I mean, I don't want to name names here, but there's other software that is more robust. But just for like getting in there and just making something real quick, this seems like really convenient and it has all the features like that I personally find useful. And I personally don't like a super complicated whiteboard software personally. I don't if I have to like sit around and like remember a bunch of stuff, that defeats the purpose for me because when I'm whiteboarding in real life, I'm not like sitting there trying to remember a bunch of stuff, you know, like shortcuts and commands. It's the ease of just hopping in and hopping out. That's what I value. Okay, so now this is how I'm going to represent the grid. Let me actually just go ahead and assemble a example grid here if I want to. I mean, that makes sense. Here. Um, oh, I need to cut this and paste it. So if I take this, I can just kind of like finesse an example in here. Okay, and then I'm just going to copy this wall emoji and put this on the sides like this. Oops. Yeah, okay. These are too close together. And then the cheese can go. I'm just gonna put the cheese down here in the corner. And I'm gonna put the mouse. Okay, this is not bad. I am worried that maybe the mouse could against the black background, I think it'll be fine, but you know, you could have whatever terminal color you want, I suppose. I don't know if there's a way to manually set the background of another person's terminal that runs my code here. But I know that I could render this on a canvas that loads on the terminal. That's something I could do. I know I could do it in Python. I don't know if that's possible in GoLang, but that's a problem for another time. Okay, so this is like an example of what my maze could look like. Let's go ahead and group this together and just like make this. Ooh. Nope. I did something wrong. Oh, you know what? I probably shouldn't group these just yet. Um, because it's all going to collapse and look weird. Uh, okay. Oh, I see what's happening. They're overlapping. Yeah, they're overlapping. This is fine. We don't need this to be super tiny. I mean, we have what I understand is an infinite canvas. Yeah, so I don't need to be too worried. Okay, let's go ahead and group this and just go ahead and pop this right here. And I think we have enough. Well, let me just go ahead and like jot down just some ideas really quick. Um, I don't want to have this just floating around in my head. That's the main thing because it's fine for now, but this is going to be a multi-part series. And if I don't write it down, I'm going to be like really frustrated with myself. So this is going to be for refactoring grid for advanced mode or for advanced game. Let's make that bold and make that a header. Excuse me. Okay. Sorry, I had to respond to a message there. Okay, so refactoring the game, the advanced game. Okay, so the idea here is that currently, let's make this 18. So currently, game uses an array of strings to represent the grid or the maze. The goal is to replace array of strings with an array of characters. I'm sorry, array of runes. I think they're called runes. Let me just look this up real quick. Rune GoLang. Okay. So runes are like the numerical representation or the decimal representation of a glyph. If we go to the Unicode Wikipedia page, we can see that. Wait, this might be the wrong page. I literally was just looking at this the other day. Um, I should have saved that page. I put it somewhere. Where did I put that link? Did I put that in the README? I didn't. I didn't. Oh my god. Okay, I didn't. I should have done that. Unicode symbol. Here it is. Okay, list of Unicode characters. Okay, so a rune is basically a what I understand to be a data type or so when you do the single quote here, it'll convert this Unicode character into a numerical representation, which is this decimal column of the control codes for the different glyphs. So for example, you can see it here. They have A, and when this code runs, A is turned into 97. Well, if you look up 97 here, 97 is the decimal column. So right here, decimal, it corresponds to A. So the small Latin A. So I believe that this also works for emojis. I don't know if they're listed here, but we can try to find them. Here are like some symbols. We're gonna have to experiment with this basically. I think we could store these as, okay, emojis are seemingly in here. Well, these are some of them. Here's some more. So I think we should be able to do this with emojis. And if not, then we can find another strategy. But I'm going to go with the theory that we can do this. And to make this letter or this glyph for letter into a rune, we use a single quotes, which is different than the double quotes, which preserves it as a string. Now, I'm not sure if there's any qualitative difference other than I think it just takes up less storage space, but then it requires us to wrap it in a, actually we have an example here. We have to do this string method to convert the character back into a glyph. I don't know if there's a compute cost to that that would make our app slower, but it's fine because the data structure that we're going to use will give us the flexibility to change that part. So we'll make a function that is specifically in charge of the conversion thing. And I think later on we could actually make a Go routine so that the conversion of the characters from the decimals to the glyphs can be done concurrently, which could make this more performant. I'm not going to worry about the performance right now. I'm mainly going to worry about adjusting the data structure so that instead of it being an array of strings, it's going to be an array. It's going to turn into a 2D array of characters. That makes sense. So the data structure will look like this. I'm just gonna use one block to represent, but this could be any block. So it'll be like this. Ooh, that is too big. Let's actually make this all smaller. Let's do 14. So it'll be glyph, 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 glyph. And then we could have multiple arrays of these same glyphs like this. And the same logic that the looping logic that we use to build our, to print will still work with this because arrays and strings, the traversal pattern that we use will work for either of those two data structures. Unless there's something I did wrong and don't know. So this is the goal. So whether or not we use glyphs or not, like that is not a huge deal. In fact, we might benefit from just keeping it real simple and just doing them as individual characters. We can save the glyph shenanigans for later. We want to just get to the basic goal and then we want to refactor from there. And that's something I tell my students quite a bit is like, you don't have to go for like the complicated thing first. You can just do something that works, but just have in mind the long-term goal as you do that. You know, so break up things into smaller steps, basically. So this is a requirement. If we were thinking about this in terms of, a user story, this would be like a premise, and then this would be the requirement. And I might have like a sprint board or something inside of GitHub to help me organize this. I'm not going to do all of that. I don't think this project warrants it. And I also don't want to spend time doing it right now. So I think that this is a solid plan. This is what we're going to do for the remainder of the stream. We're going to take this premise and we're going to see if it makes sense. So, okay, my timer hasn't gone off yet, but it has been 30 minutes since we started. I'm going to go ahead and take a break because I feel like this is a good stopping point. And then when I come back, we're going to jump into the code and we're going to get started working this out. Okay, cool. So, yeah, give me a little bit and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. We're going to jump back into this now, making our advanced cheese maze. Before our break, we left off with our plan for today. And the goal is basically to take this little data structure here for the grid and to emojify it, and also to separate these emojis into separate items in an array as opposed to having them as characters in one big string per row. So that sounds simple enough. I'm not quite sure if I want to do the thing with the glyphs or not, but we're going to just treat them as individual strings, I think, for now. So this is going to turn from a one-dimensional array to a two-dimensional array, basically. I was like looking up how to do that while I was on break there, and I think all I need to do is just add this here. So this represents two-dimensional array. And I need to reinforce the typing here. And then I can actually start to change this here. So this is we gotta count these characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 by 10. I just wanted to make sure. I don't think we're actually using the height and width thing here, but this is 10 by 10. So what I'm going to do and make this kind of messy is I'm actually going to copy this and paste it here and just comment it out just in case I mess something up. Also, so I can like easily refer to it. I refactor this. So we need to make this into an array, and oops, I need to get my characters. It's going to be wall, and these need to be inside of quotes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What is this complaining about? Unexpected comma. What? What? Oh, this might be a typing thing. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy these for every row, and then we're gonna go back and refactor. And we can move the cheese wherever we want, to be honest. And I'm wondering too, let's just look it up, 2D array in GoLang. Oh, they need to be inside of curly braces. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Here, I don't have to delete these. I could just refactor like this. I tell you what, I spend pretty much all day coding in JavaScript, and it is actually teaching me so much to bounce back and forth between JavaScript and GoLang. It's making me a lot more aware of things that I took for granted. That's for sure. Okay, so this is our new grid. Let us. Oh, we gotta. Yeah, this is not gonna work. I think we can. Let's just proceed forward. I would like to have more stopping points along the way, but I feel safe in the sense that we have like a strong commit history that we can rely on to go back to working state. So I'm just gonna have faith and just let it be what it is right now. And we can make this smaller now. So basically I need to look at this and figure out how to fix this up. So on this one, we're gonna use, let's just use the big white spaces here. Okay. So, and then this one here, the second and the second to last one needs to be a white space. Actually, I just remember, like I said a few moments ago, it doesn't matter what our grid looks like as long as it's actually a path that is traversable. So I can make whatever path I want. In fact, one of the goals that I have in mind for later on is to make it where there are multiple levels that can be loaded. And so the player can start off with a simple grid and then work their way up. And I would love to be able to find out a way to procedurally generate those grids, to be honest. I think that would be really cool. So, and I want the mouse to start here. So let's replace that with a mouse. Okay, cool. So that's our grid. It is now a 2D array of individual emoji characters. I can easily fix this up to be the rune thing later on by just doing a find and replace and then changing this from string to rune. I won't worry about that right now. We need to fix our handle input function so that we change these spots for the empty into a let's just put a we got to put a white block there, and we also need to put a oh, we got to make these into characters. Okay, and then we got to do the same thing for the cheese here. Put the cheese. And we didn't put the cheese in our maze, so we got to fix that as well. I'm winging this, by the way. In the previous streams, I was using some pre-made code and whatever to kind of like guide my learning process. This stream represents the beginning of me just taking it off and getting messy, so the pace is going to change here. Okay, so, oh, I forget, we don't need to put our mouse in here manually because we actually will procedurally put it in there at the time that this prints. So we put the mouse emoji here. Let me add a comment here. Mouse will be rendered. Oh, actually, I already have a comment. Cool. That's what this is saying. Okay, so I think that this, I don't know if this will work, but it's worth running so we can at least start to get some bugs and errors going on here. Let's cross our fingers. Go run period. Oh, look at that. Okay, well, let's see if it actually works. It does. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. That was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. If the cheese has been found. Okay. Oh my goodness. I can't believe that worked. And that was much faster. I thought it was going to, I don't know why I thought there was going to be like some crazy bugs. So I'm glad I planned it. Now let's, now that that works, oh my gosh, I'm okay. Now that that works, oh wait, did I actually get to? Let me try this one more time. I think something was kind of weird. Okay. I think that's fine. I kind of imagined that maybe the mouse would go over the cheese, or that maybe if the mouse is next to the cheese, that counts. But I think we need the mouse to go on top of the cheese. Um, I kind of have a random idea to make this game make a little bit more sense. Um, where is the messaging for the cheese has been found? Come on, eyes, help me out here. It's in my main loop. Okay. One thing is that I am going to need to proceed, not procedurally, I need to actually have a struct for the cheese, just like I have for the mouse. Um, that should be another goal because if I can get the cheese to be put into the maze here, the same way I'm putting the mouse into the maze, that's going to give me more flexibility. So let's make a let's make like a little to do ideas section here, and just put some sticky notes here. So the first one is going to be change cheese into, or create a cheese struct. And the thing that got me excited a second ago before I started going talking about the cheese struct is that I was thinking to myself, right now the mouse has to be, well, the mouse needs to be next to the cheese, and then I need to move over or try to move over to the cheese place, and that's what makes the game win. So what I was thinking though is like maybe the cheese starts off as a chest, like a treasure chest, and then when the mouse goes on top of it, that signifies opening the chest, and then it turns into a cheese emoji. And then that would be like a way to signal to the player that they have not just gotten to the location, but that the cheese has been um, opened or accessed or whatever. And then I could have other things on the map that are chests that are not cheese, and the goal is to find the one with the cheese in it. Um, so I'm just gonna make a quick note here. Um, cheese or start with a chest um, emoji, which will change to a cheese emoji when the mouse attempts to move into its space. Okay. So I don't know how that'll all work, but that actually sounds like that could be a fun goal for the next stream. So I'm just going to save that. And that's cute. That's cute. That's cute. That's cute. That's cute. Okay. And let's go ahead and just put a little line to connect these two things here. Okay, so what else? What else? What else? What else? Okay, so another thing that I want to do is um I think it's funny, I actually wasn't meaning on this working so easily. Let's try the rune thing. I want to just look up whether or not there are benefits to using a rune. And I'm not going to use ChatGPT because I'm sure it could tell me, but I want to make this hard for myself. Go to Google. And Gemini just came out. It's Google's Bard upgrade. Actually, it's advertising it down here. I'm also not going to use that. So, um, GoLang, rune versus character. Okay, this isn't really what I'm looking for. What I'm trying to figure out is, okay, so if we were to make these into runes, the runes will be numbers that represent the glyph characters. Um, for example, 97 is A, which we looked at earlier. Now, in order to turn these back from the integer numbers into the glyphs, I would have to use this string function. There might be another function that does it, but I have to use this string function. And I'm wondering if there is a cost benefit to doing that versus just keeping them as strings. I believe that there might be some memory implications, but I don't know if that matters enough to change it. But if there is at all any benefit in terms of performance and memory, it could be worth it in the sense that I see this as being, well, one, I see myself wanting to make these mazes a lot larger. And also at some point, it would be cool to find out some type of formula to safely and procedurally generate these mazes so that I don't have to make them manually. So if I decide to do the conversion thing, the main difference is that at the point where I print the characters, which is here, I would have to do this string. Actually, this string is happening and these characters are still... Um, yeah, so I guess it doesn't matter. Also, I don't think you can do a rune with an emoji with this emoji because I was getting an error earlier. Um, I think a good way to test this would be is if there's a REPL for GoLang, I can just use in a terminal. So let's just look up GoLang REPL, and I can just do some little coding stuff. Does Go provide a REPL? Let's just use the Go playground. So let us just do my emoji. Go doesn't have a terminal-based REPL. That's surprising to me for some reason. That's very surprising. That's very surprising. Okay. Let us just do this. And run this. I feel like I'm gonna get an error. Oh, no, 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 I did get a number. Okay, okay, okay. Well, let's just try it. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? We have to select all these and make all of these into runes. And then I gotta adjust. Let me do a commit first. Refactor grid into 2D array. Oh wait, I messed that message up. This is not an array, this is a slice. 2D slice. How to use the right words. Okay. So yeah, we'll just refactor all these. Make those into single quotes. And then we got to do that here as well. Only for these. these as well. Oops. And then, oh, let me fix my comment here. I gotta keep that up to date. At the end of this, I'm gonna read through all my comments and make sure that they're cleaner. I have an abundance of comments that I don't need anymore, um, at this point at least. So I'm gonna clean those up too. What is this saying? Illegal, rune, literal. Come on, bruh. For real. BFF. Is it because I can't use it for that particular emoji? Oh. Not all emojis have the ability to be a rune. Oh, wait. No, that's not it. The issue is that this needs to be rune. Yeah. And then I need to change this to rune. Think that'll fix it. Um, Let me just check here and run this as well. Yeah, the white spaces can't be runes. Okay. Maybe we can find an alternative. Let's go back and see if we can find an alternative. Um, that's crazy. Okay. I wonder if I can just use two spaces. I do remember reading, um, I do remember reading that emojis take up two spaces. We can test that theory out. Let's just test that theory out. If it doesn't work out, that's fine. That would be an incentive to go back and just to use the 2D array of strings, to be honest. How do I make an or type? Because now that it's two, see, now it's two spaces, a room can only be one character. Is a tab considered? Hmm. Can I put a tab here? Let's try that. Let's try a tab and see what happens. Otherwise, I'm just going to go back to doing the array of characters. And let's run our program. Nope. It said get somebody else to do it. Look at that. That's so jacked up. I mean, this could be this could be wacky mode. It said get somebody else to do it. Okay. That's fine. that was worthwhile. I mean, I learned something. That's the main thing. So what we learned is that using the runes would be okay, except for the runes are more restrictive for emojis. And I think because runes are based on the Unicode stuff, and there are things that do not exist in the Unicode that do exist in ASCII, or I think that's how you I think that's how you say all that. Um, so I'm not going to worry about it for now. I think this is fine. Let me clean up my comments here. So instead of this here, let me just actually replace both of these in my comments. I'm gonna read the comments from top to bottom actually. Okay, let's just go through this. Initialize new mouse, initialize new maze. And then I have a to do to create a cheese struct that will eventually initialize as well. Okay, so this is the rounds of gameplay per user input. Okay. I don't need this here. I, um, let's just simplify that comment. Um, let's combine these two and simplify. I'm being inconsistent with capitalization and it's bothering me. Um, okay. And then this allows for okay. I can get rid of this. Okay, before a command is ready, I need to store the OS center output in a command object. Okay, that's cool. I can just condense this. I probably won't need to. I don't need to do anything more with this. This is pretty stable. Oh, I did this to do item, so that's done. Um, let's put this in here and move this down as a sub comment, and then I'll do to do create struct for cheese and add cheese at print time. Using ordinance. Yeah, okay. That should be a fairly easy refactor, I think, as well. That's definitely something to do in a stream. When, okay, I think what I'm doing is I'm making these comments just all lowercase, except for these ones that define the function. In fact, I could stand to refactor the function descriptions, to be honest. This could actually go on top of the main function. Oops. Yeah, I should probably document the functions, to be honest. and overall just like do better in code documentation. I might end up just doing that as like my own thing later on, and not doing it in the stream. It is kind of like busy work. Oh, busy. Um, okay. I think this is good, and this brings us to an hour and 10 minutes. Hey Siri, cancel my timer.
It's canceled.
Okay, yeah, I think this is good. I didn't think that we would get through this fast, but at the same time, I did quite a bit of work, even if it wasn't just coding. Um, what I'll do is I'm gonna save. I'm gonna save this, and in the future, I will just upload. I'll upload this. Actually, I'll end up just storing this inside of the README so that it can be there for people to see. Actually, you know what? I can literally just take this and just put that in here. Does that work? No, it's too big. Let's just make that smaller. And nope, doesn't like that. Okay, let's make this frame bigger. I need to figure out the keyboard shortcut for zooming in and zooming out. That's a little awkward for me right now. Okay, let's play a game of how neurotic I can be about this. I no longer need this diagram. I should probably just go ahead and save it. It is like proof of work, and who knows. Okay, so what I'll do is I will just go ahead and finish some cleanup stuff here before the next stream. For now, I can just go ahead and just check my changes here, make sure everything is good before I make this commit. Oh, also let's do an auto format. Okay, and then just for ease of my anxiety, let's go ahead and run our game just one last time to make sure that this works. Okay, cool. I'm going to go ahead and commit this. O'Reilly. One more thing. Actually, no. I was thinking maybe I'll just take a screenshot and put this in the README. I'm gonna save myself the time because I know this is bound to change. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and commit and push this. So refactored grid and update, or refactored grid and clean up comments. So commit and sync. Okay, so yeah, that was a good little work session. It was shorter than the last stream, which I don't mind. These have been getting a little long-winded, and it is nice to just kind of come in, have like a very specific goal, and just get straight to it. So hopefully the next few streams will be more like this and less, you know, just less lengthy. Um, so yeah. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. My name's Key. This is OpenPair, and you've been watching the number 6 stream for Advanced Cheese Maze. This is a part of a continuing series to develop this little miniature game. I'm not sure how long this is going to last. Honestly, I don't. This isn't going to be something where I'm like trying to publish this or nothing. This is literally just a learning opportunity for me. So what I'm going to do is just work on this until I either make something where I can't think of any more changes or I just get bored. or I just find another idea worth doing. I don't know. I'm thinking that this would at least be like maybe 2 or 3 more streams at the least. So the only way to know is to stick around. So go ahead and give me a follow, like, comment. All I don't know the things that people say. Like just do the things that you're supposed to do when you like a YouTube channel. Okay, just do all that stuff, and then I'll meet you back here whenever the next stream happens. These aren't really planned so far. I'm just kind of hopping on here when I have time. So